With just hours to go before the summer break, Scuderia Ferrari Technical Director Pat Fry sums up the first half of the season, going over the steps taken that resulted in the F2012 leading the championship, and he already looks ahead to coming races.
"11 races done, it's time to take stock of the season so far. What is your judgment of this first part of the season?"
Obviously we were a little bit on the back foot at the start of winter testing. I think we learnt an awful amount through that period, which we used later, but first races we were struggling. I think we were 1.5 seconds off the pace in Melbourne. There's been a huge amount of work, both here in the wind tunnel, in manufacturing, production, design office. The whole system has responded to the challenges we've had. I mean, I think we've managed to out-develop most teams out there. So I think we've made a reasonable recovery, but we've still got a long way to go.
Fernando in Budapest talked about some lack of development in the very last few races. Can you explain more about it?
Yes, we've had a couple of developments that haven't worked as we're expected. I mean, I think there's always various issues with that. I suppose the good thing is that we understand it. It all ties together now, so we can use that knowledge to move forward rather than being sort of confused. We've now actually got a clear direction of what we need to do. So we've started down that development path.
So you think those issues are going to be resolved for the next future?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think it's like all these things that when you're, pushing the boundaries, you always come across new problems. As I say, I think we've got a good understanding of those now. So we just modify our development criteria and keep pushing.
August will be a month without any Formula One races. What will happen in these weeks between today and the race in Spa? We're all here this week, doing as much as we can. We're still developing bits for some small items for Spa. Wind tunnel is concentrating on sort of updates for Singapore. We've got a hard week this week. Then we all get 2 weeks off, which will be nice, and then back pushing again straight away after the break. Personally, what will you do in those 2 weeks without being in the factory?
I'm go back to the UK, spend some time with my family. It'll be nice to have more than 2 days in a row with my 2 boys.
You cannot work physically, but do you think your brain will be able to turn it off all thoughts about Formula One, or something will be in the background anyway?
I'll try my best to not think about Formula One and just think about spending time with my family.
So you have hopes to be able to recharge the batteries?
Oh, I hope so. Yes. I mean, I think everyone needs. It's been a tough 4 or 5 months for everyone in the entire organisation. So I think it's good to have a break and everyone to recharge, and then we've got to be back pushing as hard as we have done so far for the rest of the year.
We will be back for the last 2 races in Europe, Spa and Monza, completely different from the previous one. How do you see the situation for the team in those 2 races?
We've got some reasonable developments coming through for Spa. Obviously, downforce wise, it's a little bit specific, and the same with Monza. So again, we've got a sort of Monza specific aero package and engine package coming through. So it's a lot of work done, a lot still to do, but we'll see. I mean, developments are coming. We just need to keep the pressure on.
In Formula One, winning is not just down to speed, but also and above all, it comes from strategy and teamwork, so the pit stop management is of crucial importance. With Diego Ioverno, Head of Assembly and Track Operations for Scuderia Ferrari, we discover procedures and secrets from the pit stop of the man in red.
The last few years, pit stop is becoming one of the most important moments of the races. So every detail has to be carefully managed, In order to be ready, the team is doing several pit stop practice sessions in the factory. The pit stop crew is made of around 20 guys, even if the core of the crew is made by 14, that are the 3 per corner that are directly involved in the removal and the fitting of the tire, plus the 2 jackmen. As we said, we have around 20 people in total, because we have to consider also the guys that are changing the front flap angle, for instance, that are looking after the pit stop operation or looking after the traffic. The 14s that are the base are obviously 3 per corner, the operator of the pit stop gun, the guy that normally removes the used tire, plus the guy that fits the new tire. And all this is possible if the car is on the air due to the operation of the 2 jack, the front one and the rear one. Due to the big importance of the pit stop, Ferrari is developing as much as possible all the technological stuff involved, both from the mechanical point of view, so we had a lot of work on the wheel nut design, on the pit stop guns, on the wheel, and also from the electronical point of view. We were the first to introduce the traffic light system some years ago, and we have been developing in the last months, trying to achieve the best performance possible. Obviously, pit stop is a team job, so it's very important that all the guys are physically trained, and for this reason we have a structure here in the factory where they can practice and they are followed by trainers, and also psychologically prepared, and also for this we have a staff of experts that are following them. All these elements are very important, and we have all the training and the practice session during the week in Maranello and before the race on the track, trying to achieve the best performance during the race.
The section dedicated to the Formula One alphabet continues in this edition. Today, Scuderia Ferrari technicians explain the meaning of the words Hans, X-Wet, Yo and Zero.
Hans is a safety system which has been introduced in Formula One in 2003. And now, step by step, is going to be introduced in all the formulas and rallies and touring car included. In practical, is this carbon device, which is holded on the shoulders of the driver and which is holded by the seat belts. Then we've got these 2 straps which fix the helmet to this carbon structure. In practical, what happens is that in case of a frontal impact for the driver, the head with the helmet of the driver cannot move too much forward. This will prevent the driver to have any damage to his neck.
We will use X-Wet for raining condition. It is not light rain or remaining of the water on the track, because in that case surface is a wet patch, so then we don't use X-Wet. But once we have a heavy rain, in that case water depth is very, very high. In that case, intermediate can't go to the circuit. So we will use X-Wet. So X-Wet is very good for deep rain. So it is very important for continuing the race.
Yaw is the motion of the car rotating around the centre of gravity. As the car turns, the wind moves across the car sideways. We worry about the aerodynamic characteristics of a car in yaw. You go through various yaw conditions in cornering. In a high-speed corner is low yaw, and very low-speed corners, obviously the car is at a lot higher yaw. And we test in the wind tunnel in cornering conditions and try and map the car in what we think is the conditions it's going to be seeing on the track.
Zeros. Z is the last letter in the alphabet, but the first thing we do before the car leaves the box. We make sure that all the sensors literally read 0, and such that when the car leaves and runs, they read correctly. So we zeroed the load cells, the accelerometers, all the sensors on the cars are zeroed before the car leaves the box.
Scuderia Ferrari Racing News wishes you a great holiday, and we'll be back on 24 August with the preview of Spa race.